Well, part of the order from Man Lake showed up. I got one of these cloth hive domes that I think is going to be kind of cool to play with. It sits on top of the box, and then another box sits on top of it, and it's supposed to help let the water run off the side instead of drip on them. Plus you can open it up and observe them without actually getting into the hive, so it could be great for teaching. So we'll throw it on something and play with it, see how it does. I got a new vintage suit and some buckets to try to make some top feeders, some Paramoth, so that when I pull hives apart and try to save some of the comb, I can protect it from the wax moths getting in it and destroying it. Anytime I seal some up, I'm going to put that in there. New pair of gloves just in case I lose my other ones. Then I ordered these pictures that go on frames, the educational stuff. I don't know, I really thought that there was going to be more of what you would actually see looking at a frame, but there is some educational stuff on them, and so two of these go back to back on a frame and then go in a box, and people can pull it out and look at the pictures, I guess. That was kind of a neat idea to get people thinking and talking about it. I'm gonna go down and take apart the hives that I just bought and just show you what it is that they're doing with that system. It's different than anything I've run before. Everybody comes up with new things on their own. Some work great, some not so good. We just got to put them together and see what works for each one of us. So let me find a screw gun and I'll head down and take one apart. So the pallet they put these on is just skip sheeted instead of plywood. Then they've just got little cleats to hold it front and back from sliding out of there. This hinge comes up and is screwed onto the side of the box. Not sure why they used a hinge and not just a strap, except that it does fold down out of the way. Then once that bottom box is attached to there, they come into the front of the box and they put a screw right down through there to hold it to the deck. Now the bottom box is attached fairly securely to the deck. The tops are all screwed on, which does seem like it would make it more difficult to do inspections. But these are commercial beekeepers. They don't inspect as much as we do as far as going through the entire box. They can come up to the box, they lift from the center, lift it up. They can see the top of these frames, the bottom of those. They can tell a lot from right there how they're doing and how healthy they are. So where we get in them quite a bit, or I do, these guys don't do it so much. So then these lids have vented holes and screens and are tall and stand above the box, so they have to be screwed on because there's no lip going over front or back or side to hold them on, which could be done, be one more piece. Then this is an empty one, so it's not set up exactly the same as the ones I have that have bees in them. There's a propolis trap that they put on the top of each hive, so it's doing a couple of things. It's gaining propolis. It's also allowing the bees to let in what ventilation they want to. If they want more air moving through, they can open the holes up and let more in. If they need to close it down, they close it down. Then on the ones that were live, there was a piece of plastic on here, which then through the winter kept the air from blowing through it too quickly. And then they had cut pieces of carpet, just little squares of carpet for some insulation on top. Great idea, easy to pull back out, easy to move around. When you want to pull them off and store them, they're going to store nice and flat. So then the only entrance for the bees is a small hole. And if the bees get really strong and busy, they'll open up a hole in the bottom box. Now they have two holes to go in and out of. They have a solid bottom board screwed to the box, but they also have a drawer in it. So this little drawer is intended for them to put a mite treatment on and slide back in. So they're doing less disruption to the hive to do that. The sheets I've found in there on some tell me they're probably using Tactic, which is pretty hard on the bees. Probably less hard if it's in the bottom like that than if it's up on top. So then this cover is another vent that they cover up when they don't want the air coming through. And as things heat up and it gets to be a fuller box, they can open it up and regulate how much air can move up through that box. So a lot of these, in fact most of them, have a hole on the front and the back on the bottom box. So down in California it can get pretty darn hot, so they can really help let them move the air through, but still the bees only have that small hole to guard, or that small hole, instead of a complete opening across the front. It's already protected from mice. They can't get in this without chewing a bigger hole in it. So you don't have to mess with any of your mouse guards, anything else. If you need to take a pallet apart, you already have a bottom board on it. The hive is contained. You can stop the bee movement by poking pieces of towel, or toilet paper, anything you want, into the hole. It's kind of a neat system. It's different. I may incorporate some of it into mine. I don't know how much. I don't like the fact that I can't interchange boxes quite as easily. The bottom box is set up as a bottom box. The lip, the board here sticks up a little bit, so does the one in the back. That helps hold the top box from sliding forward or backward. It can still go sideways, but it can't slide forward or backward. But I can't get a lid on that now. If I want to just use the bottom box to put a lid on it, this is in the way. So there's some things about them that are good, some things that I don't know. We'll play with it and see, but it's darn sure interesting. So many different ways to work these bees. We all got to just find what works for us.